What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to take a look at a Cuban heavyweight by the name of Geraldo Ramos Ponciano Valdez, a.k.a. Nino Valdez. Now, Nino Valdez was born in Havana, Cuba on December 5th, 1924. He unfortunately passed away on June 3rd, 2001. He had total bouts of 70 with 48 victories, 36 by the knockout route. He weighed 250 pounds and stood 6 foot 3 inches. Very big heavyweight. He began his professional debut on December 27th, 1941 and scored a third round knockout. Fantastic start to his heavyweight career. Now, Nino Valdez would go on and face fighters such as Big Bob Baker, Tommy Hurricane Jackson, Harold Johnson, who would be light heavyweight champion of the world, Bob Satterfield, one of the hardest punchers in that division, Mike DeJohn, Harold Carter, Charlie Doc Williams. He would lose to Archie Moore, as they say was his lost opportunity to face for the heavyweight championship of the world, Rocky Marciano. His last fight was against Sonny Liston, and he got beaten up so bad in that Sonny Liston fight that he actually retired and went back home to Havana, Cuba. So let's take a look at Nino Valdez's boxing career. Now, as you can see here, Nino Valdez, Cuban heavyweight. And he began his professional career on December 27th with a third round knockout. Great start. 1942, January 31st. He would face a fighter by the name of Andres Dominguez. He would face him in Havana, Cuba, and knock him out in 1 round. Now, I read about that fighter, Andres. And he was stomping around Havana, Cuba pretty good. He had a very good record coming into that fight. So that was a very good victory for Nino Valdez. And as you can see, he would have all victories except for 1 knockout of himself in the 3rd round against a fighter by the name of Julio Lazara. Unfortunately for him, this was May 30th. And it's surprising because I read about this fighter. And with the nice jab and height that Nino Valdez has, I can't quite understand how he would be stopped by this fighter. Moving along, he would have all victories. 1943, January 30th. He would fight this fighter again, Andres Dominguez, in Havana, Cuba, and he would knock him out in 2 rounds. Benito Gonzalez, Havana, Cuba, knock him out in 2 rounds, February 20th, 1943. April 3rd, he would face Julio Lazara again, and this time he would knock him out in the 3rd round. See, that's what great fighters do. They want revenge. They want to get that conscience off of their... They want to clear their conscience, get it off their chest. And that's a prime example of what a fighter does. Salute Nino Valdez for that accomplishment. 1944, he would lose in another fight with Mario Ruiz. On September 3rd, 1944, he would lose an 8-round decision. But besides that, he would go on and fight more fights. And he would lose another fight by knockout in the 4th round on September 15th, 1945, as you can see. For Drico Malbrands, Havana, Cuba, he would be stopped in the 4th round, but then he would have a rematch and stop him in the 8th round. Fascinating. He would continue to have victories. 1947, November 26th, he would face Archie McBride. This would be in Reading, Pennsylvania, and he would lose to him in 8 rounds. He would have a 4-round exhibition in 1949 on April 28th against heavyweight champion Joe Louis. Now, at this time, Joe Louis would no longer be heavyweight champion, but Joe Louis was tuning up for a fight with heavyweight champion Rocky Marciano. He would have another 1-round exhibition with Joe Louis in Houston, Texas, March 14th, 1950. Juan Vigo, August 19th, 1950, in Havana, Cuba. He would knock him out in 1 round. Aldo Rodriguez, Havana, Cuba, knock him out in 1 round, September 23rd. In 51, he was inactive. 1952, he would fight Keen Simmons. Keen Simmons was a very strong heavyweight. Fought him February 7th, 1952 in New York. Defeated him in 10 rounds. Outstanding victory. Sandy McPherson, New York. He would defeat him in 8 rounds on February 28th, 1952. Joe McFadden, March 29th, 1952 in Brooklyn, New York. He would have an 8-round draw. Jimmy Walker, New York. Knock him out in 6 rounds on June 13th. November 24th, he would face Harold Johnson in Brooklyn, New York, and he would lose to him in 10 rounds. 1953, March 11th, Archie Moore, St. Louis. He would lose to him in 10 rounds. And that fight right there really hurt Nino Valdez, because after that he would have 2 more losses. April 20th, Bill Gilliam, a man he should definitely have won against, Johnstown. He would lose to him in 10 rounds. May 1st, understanding loss, Big Bob Baker, Huntington. He would lose to him in 10 rounds. Now, I did a profile on Bob Baker. Look up Bob Baker, Scrapbook Boxing. You'll learn more about Bob Baker. Now, he would fight for the Cuban Heavyweight title and knock him out in 10 rounds and become the Cuban Heavyweight champion on July 18th, 1953. August 11th, Ezzard Charles, Miami Beach. Ezzard Charles would be a future heavyweight. Well, actually, he was a heavyweight champion. Defeated him in 10 rounds. September 15th, Charlie Doc Williams. He would defeat him in 10 rounds, Miami Beach, Florida. You have some more knockouts. 1954, February 20th, Archie McBride, Havana, Cuba. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. March 12th, James J. Parker, who was from Canada, New York, defeat him in 10 rounds. July 14th, Tommy Hurricane Jackson, New York, knock him out in 2 rounds. Fascinating. Did I put him back on the map? December 11th, 1954, he would face Jimmy Walls, and he would knock him out in 2 rounds. So he put himself back in line for heavyweight contention. January 25th, Jack Flood, Huntington. That's in Long Island. He would knock him out in 7 rounds. May 2nd, Archie Moore, Las Vegas. He lost to him in 15 rounds. And this is what hurt him, because at this particular point, Rocky Marciano was going to fight. Well, he wasn't. He was trying to find a way to get around Nino Valdez. So he gave Archie Moore a shot at his heavyweight championship. Now, when Valdez fought Archie Moore on May 2nd in Las Vegas and he lost to him, that's what put Archie Moore in line for a shot at heavyweight champion Rocky Marciano's title. August 17th, Bob Satterfield, Chicago. He lost to him in 10 rounds. Let's go back to Archie Moore. That was a 15-round loss. We don't know how the actual verdict went, but the victory was given to Archie Moore so that Rocky Marciano could face Archie Moore, because Archie Moore would bring in more money on that fight. Nino Valdez, as you can see, was on a winning streak. So, it happens in boxing, unfortunately. Ken Hammer knocked him out in 8 rounds. July 11th, Eddie Machen, Miami Beach. He would be stopped by Eddie Machen in the 8th round. Eddie Machen was a very good fighter, as you know. September 25th, Azora Foley, Phoenix, Arizona, lost to him in 10 rounds. Azora Foley would be stopped by future heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali. October 25th, Bob Woodall, October 25th, Bob Woodall in Boston. And he would knock him out in the 3rd round. You have some more fights. 1957, Joe Erkinson, Fought him in London. Knocked him out in 1 round. May 8th, Johnny Holman. Portland, Oregon. Defeated him in 10 rounds. Very good victory for Nino Valdez. November 19th, Jeff Dyer. Knocked him out in 10 rounds. 1958, he would face Canadian heavyweight Alex Mituff. February 21st, New York. He would lose to him in 10 rounds. April 3rd, he would face Wayne Bertha. Denver, Colorado. Defeat him in 10 rounds. April 23rd, he would face Mike DeJohn, Syracuse. Defeat him in 10 rounds. December 19th, he would face Pat McCarthy. In New York, he would knock him out in 1 round. 1959, March 4th, Charlie Powell, Miami Beach. He'll be stopped by Charlie Powell in 8 rounds. I got to do a profile on Charlie Powell. Charlie Powell used to play for the San Francisco 49ers. Very good football player. And then he got into boxing. And he was an outstanding fighter as a boxer. Charlie Powell. April 28th, Dan Hodge. He'll knock him out in 8 rounds. May 29th, Alonzo Johnson, New York. He would lose to him in 10 rounds. August 5th, he would face Charles Sonny Liston in Chicago and be knocked out by him in 3 rounds. Then he had one last fight, December 1st, Brian London. And he would knock him out in 7 rounds. And then he said, that's it, I'm done. I think he had to fulfill his contract. Record stands, total bouts here, 69. He had 36 knockouts. 13 decisions. 2 draws. 13 lost on the decision. Interesting. He won a decision 13 times and lost on a decision 13 times. 5 knockouts. He was stopped 5 times. So here you have it, Nino Valdez. Fascinating heavyweight from Havana, Cuba. Came over to the States to try and get the world heavyweight strap. Came up short. I would love to see that fight between him and Rocky Marciano in 1955. And like I said, it was the loss in 1955 to Archie Moore that gave reasons for Rocky Marciano not to give a shot to Nino Valdez. Salute to Nino Valdez. Honorable mention in the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. This is Scrapbook Boxing. I want to thank my subscribers for hanging in there with me. And like I always say, great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. I want to give a salute to Curtis Sugar Anderson, Retro Boxing and Documentaries, the brother Pete Rosario, Reef the Watcher, Nacho TV. Salute. Marlo's Corner. Salute to Junior the Truth, Phenomena International, my sister Lala D, PK Boxing and MMA, BFTB, and all my subscribers, all of them. Salute.